Once again, it's been a little bit busy in the theme park industry. We're getting announcements for multiple ride closures, exciting new announcements for things coming in the future, and some manufacturers are even debuting new concepts for coasters. So let's dive into this news from the large-scale parks down to everything else and see what's going on in the industry. Let's start with the saddest news first. Cedar Point has confirmed that Wicked Twister is not going to be relocated or repurposed in any way. Tags were seen on the coaster over the weekend with labels for other Cedar Fair parks that feature impulse models similar to Wicked Twister. This week, the park announced the ride is just going to be scrapped after those parts are probably taken off and sent to different parks as replacements in case they need to keep the other impulse models running longer. Now, to me, and many enthusiasts, this is a huge disappointment. Assuming the maintenance is the issue, it makes sense for the chain not to pay millions of dollars to relocate this ride to a park that probably won't draw that many people anyway, but there are quite a few parks in the chain that could really use an addition, and a 200 plus foot multi-launch coaster could be a really significant boost for a park like Michigan's Adventure. But as is, it looks like Wicked Twister will be no more. Now, moving down south to Universal Studios, they have announced that they will be closing multiple attractions come January. The bigger attraction closing is going to be the Mummy roller coaster, but the good news is this isn't a permanent closure. The ride will remain closed for about 6 months for a lot of refurbishments, including a rumored full retrack from premiere. Now, hopefully this means that this ride sticks around for years to come and continues to be one of the better rides in the park. Now, the other ride that will be closing will be Shrek 4D. This is the theater motion simulator style attraction, and it will give its final showings in the first few weeks of January during the holiday season, and a replacement has not yet been announced. The big predictions coming out so far are a new Minions attraction or a clone of the Secret Lights of Pets ride from Universal Hollywood. Now, the Shrek 4D ride was definitely starting to show its age in the last few years, with many of the effects kind of shorting out and not working all the time. However, that donkey meet and greet in the front, along with the pre-show, really made this a classic that many will miss, including myself. Now, moving on to some happier news, with IAAPA closing in, we're starting to see some manufacturers' announcements trickle through. Now, Intamin has unveiled yet another water-style coaster with the Giga Splash, a single-rail extreme log flume ride that seems a little bit unrealistic for most parts. It seems like a modern take on the Pilgrim's Plunge that used to be at Holiday World, but it doesn't seem like many parks would jump for this model, except for maybe a big chain park if they had the money to spend on a massive water coaster. Now, Skyline has also released some footage of their new and updated Skywarp 2 model that promises to be more thrilling and larger than the original. Now, many will remember how the original flopped pretty hard as a boring and rough experience, but hopefully the company can put that behind them and produce a more standout attraction this time. Now, speaking of IAAPA, Gerstlauer has announced they have a new Infinity coaster coming to the US in 2022 that will be announced at the convention. Now, this is not the coaster that was teased earlier in the year, that being Defiance at Glenwood Caverns. Now, the only details we have at the moment is that this is going to be a one-of-a-kind attraction, which probably means a custom layout, and will be installed at a high-profile location, which could be anything from a major theme park to a beachside amusement park or something like that. Now, with the park themselves not doing the announcement, I think that kind of makes me lean that it won't come from one of the two big chains, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, or even like a SeaWorld park. Now, I'm not going to speculate too much on this coaster since it will be announced so soon, but once it is released, I will drop a new video once revealed deep diving into it. Finally, the biggest news coming in recent weeks is the reveal of Magic Mountain's 20th roller coaster. In 2022, the park will open the long-rumored RMC Raptor Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. This will be a near clone of Great Adventure's Jersey Devil coaster. Now, these are those upscale RMC single rail Raptors with the 12-car trains added for capacity. Now, this gives the park yet another unique experience that fills one of the few holes left in the park's lineup. As for the ride experience itself, this will run a little bit slower and more tame than the smaller prototypes like Railblazer and Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster at Fiesta, Texas. Ideally, this will debut with the adjustments that Jersey Devil has already received to boost that second half speed, and it should be a welcomed addition. Hopefully, this will also help prevent the stretches of closures and downtime that have plagued its East Coast sibling. Stunt Pilot has also seen similar downtime with the second generation trains. Now, it won't quite take the crown for best roller coaster in the park, but with such a stacked set of coasters, it's impressive that the park still finds ways to add unique additions. Now, honestly, if there was going to be a replacement for Wicked Twister at Cedar Point, one of those skinny plot raptors seems like a very likely option, especially with some major ones going to two of their biggest competitor parks. Then again, knowing Cedar Point, they may want to wait for that T-Rex or to at least make a Hyperraptor, but who really knows? Now, look out for more news drops in the future as we're in the midst of the reveal season and with IAAPA on the horizon. Let's hope for plenty of new additions and an exciting 2022 coaster season. What do you think is going to be the best addition for parks in 2022? Till next week, that's all from the shores of Island Coasters.